Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space. I hope you enjoy. Story number 1. Are Made of These, written by Echoing Cascade. Roman was jogging in a park. He loved to do so when he was planetside. It helped him clear his mind. A beautiful young woman ran by him. She winked at him as she passed. He grinned and picked up the pace to catch up to her. He'd been going faster and faster, but he wasn't getting any closer, as if the distance between them was a set value. Hold up. Roman noticed something else. He wasn't getting tired. Granted, he was in great shape, but he was at a dead run for what seemed like seconds now. Wait, seconds? I mean years. Or is it minutes? A suspicion entered his mind, and as he looked around and tried to read the street signs, it was confirmed. The signs were a bunch of gibberish. I'm dreaming, aren't I? He was in a lucid dream, a dream that he knew he could control, and he was planning on having a bit of fun now. He stopped running and beckoned the young woman to him. She stopped jogging and turned to face him, and with every step a piece of clothing made it away, and was replaced by lingerie. Roman couldn't help but smile until the flesh started to boil and fall off her bones as she kept coming forward. He tried to focus, to retake control, but the dream seemed to have a life of its own. The beautiful woman was now his high school coach. The man had been fired and sent to prison for what he'd done to some of his classmates. Nothing had happened to him, but the realization that it could have had been a terrifying notion. He tried to run, but he was now against the old school locker. He was a kid again, and the man was slowly stretching his hand towards him. He began to cry as he fell to the ground, grabbing his knees, wishing with every fiber of his being to wake up. The creature inside Roman's mind had hunted many in its time, and the terror he could feel emanating from him promised to be a meal to remember. Its hands had but to touch the child to end his life and absorb his psychic energy. But inches before contact, a hand clasped its wrist. To say the creature was confused was an understatement. It turned its head to look at the interloper, an old lady with a skull on her face. He tried to pull his hand free, but he might as well have tried to move a planet out of its orbit. Not only didn't it move at all, it actually hurt to try. The old lady turned to look at the child and said, "Get up and fight." Roman looked up between sobs. He hadn't noticed her arrival and was still clearly terrified. The old lady wasn't the patient type and yelled, "I said get up!" Roman got up, tears and snot running from his eyes and nose, closed his fists, and made to hit his coach. The creature turned to smile at the old lady. The psychic strength of a terrified Roman wasn't going to do any bang! Except it did do something. A hit it felt even through its psychic barrier. When he turned to look, Roman was no longer a child, but a teenager, and he was through another punch, and he felt the barrier crack. When he reared for another punch, Roman was an adult again, tears streaming from his eyes still, but the look on his face was not one of terror, but rage, endless rage. There is a science to throwing a good punch, the alignment of knuckles, the twisting of hips, the footing, etc. The punch that obliterated the creature had none of that. What that punch was backed with wasn't muscle, bone, or technique, but pure fear. Not the cold fear that petrifies a person, but a fiery terror, the kind that pushes the cornered rat to bite the cat. Fear pushed to its limits, fear that turns to reckless bravery. Roman knelt down, catching his breath, as his coach faded away, and the old lady moved closer. She grabbed his face with both her hands and kissed him on the forehead. She gave him a warm smile, one he missed every day of his life. He was about to cry again when her smile faded, as she pulled his right ear painfully, and she began to speak in a reproaching tone. "Why don't you do your bed anymore? Don't just stretch it in the morning and call it a day, you lazy bum. Stop eating takeout all the time. I didn't teach you to cook to see you slowly kill yourself with junk food. And another thing." Roman woke with a start. That was some freaking nightmare. He looked around and had a fraction of a second to be confused before a datapad hit him in the face. His assailant managed a few more hits before Roman could speak. "Ow! What the hell? Stop that!" He looked at the AN nurse that had tried to bludgeon him with a diagnosis tablet, She looked panicked. "You're supposed to be in a coma." A moment went by as neither one was sure what to say next. "Sorry, I guess." The door to the medical bay opened, and the AN doctor entered. He was taken aback by the situation, but rallied quickly. "Okay, Roman, I need you to stay calm. You have been in a coma for 3 days. Roman tilted his head in confusion. "You were part of a scouting mission and caught a psychic parasite, one we don't have a cure for. To be quite frank, we expected you to die in your sleep." The nurse nodded quickly. "Could you tell me what you remember?" Roman explained all he saw in his dream and turned to Nightmare. "You recognize the old lady?" Roman gave a sad smile. "Yeah, it was my mom. My best guess is that the parasite had never faced a sentient with a flight-or-fight response mechanism, and my subconscious conjured up my mom to trigger my will to fight." At this point, Roman's stomach decided it deserved some attention and growled loudly. The doctor put a hand on Roman's shoulder and told him to get something to eat. As Roman left the med bay, the doctor began to review what the instruments had recorded, and as he started to chide the nurse for hitting Roman to the tune of "No, being startled is not the reason to concuss a patient," he missed a spike in psychic energy, a fraction of a second when the psychic signature of the parasite and Roman had been joined by a third force, one that held the parasite just long enough for Roman to win. End of story. Story number 2. World Builders, written by Ozzy Endeavor. I was asleep, I think. For how long? I don't know. That I even exist before now. I open my eyes and I look upon Earth. It's so small. I shouldn't even be able to see it, yet I can. My vision hones in on it, a small blue speck in the empty void. It's spinning fast, it's revolving over and over as it flies around Sol, Earth. Sol. How do I know these names? It must be because that's where humans reside. What is a human? Why is that important to me? I can see them down there, living their lives at the speed of light. They tell each other stories, weaving realities from the darkness, and give them life. Their minds are vast and complicated, more so than even my own. Their eyes shine with wonder, and from their mouths flows an ambrosia of the stars. That is where I come in, isn't it? From the stories I was born. They are my parents. I try to move towards the earth, towards them. My body doesn't move, but I can feel myself drawing closer to them. They don't even notice. Every once in a while, I hear my name mentioned. Leo. My name is Leo. I roar to the heavens, for the humans wish it so. I call out to them, but they cannot hear me. I call again, and no answer. Eventually, their stories turn away from me. I stop evolving, and yet they keep creating. Please do not be sad, Leo. A voice pierces the darkness. It comes not from Earth, but from the stars. Just as quick as it arrived, it faded. And yet I know he is here. I see him, Taurus. I see his history stretching far beyond my own. Ishtar, Gilgamesh, Enkidu, Inanna, Zeus, Europa, Io. They will not forget you, Leo. They always remember their creations, and they always return. We always wait for them. I'm not alone up here after all. Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer, Virgo, Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces. We're all siblings. We're all the children of humanity. After ages of waiting, some humans return to me. They give me fire. They give me passion. They give me the sun. They give me pride. Who am I? I am Leo. Why? Because the humans decree it so. Who are the humans? Creators, weavers, artists, parents. They take nothing and turn it into a whole universe. They build worlds. Don't even notice. As their minds stretch into eternity, their creation knows no bounds. I didn't exist, but now I do, thanks to them. Hercules never slew me, but then he did. thanks to them. I was never king, but then I was, thanks to them. What they say is true, whether the universe wishes it or not. End of story. I would quickly like to thank the Tier 5 members, Marky, Cam Maxwell, Caspar Arnolds, Oakfield, Lord Azrakul, and it's difficult to pronounce. Thank you very much.